Hey, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. This video is actually sponsored by Dwayne from Florida, who's a champion level member of our membership club. To become a member, hit the join button at the homepage of our YouTube channel. Click join. It's next to the subscribe button. We appreciate you guys being here. Let's talk about the Alabama defense. The Alabama defense came up big in Alabama's 24-10 victory against Ole Miss. As you can see on the screen, Caleb Downs, just a freshman, 83.9 grade out on Pro Football Focus. That's outstanding for being so young, playing against such a highly touted offense. Remember, Ole Miss coming into this game was scoring 52 points per game. Terrion Arnold, once again, played big, 79.9 grade out on Pro Football Focus. Lane Kiffin said in his postgame, "We wanted to attack number 3. Terrion Arnold showcased his continued growth at the corner position. Kool-Aid playing at a very high level, grade out of 78.2. Malachi Moore right there at 69.9 had a big hit on the quarterback Jackson Dart, which spurred a lot of momentum. When we spoke to Jalen Milroe on Monday, he said that a lot of the energy that they got, and you could feel it in the stadium, came from the defensive play. If that defense continues to play at that high of a level, Alabama is going to be very tough to beat for anybody remaining on the schedule." Let's talk about the outside linebackers, because what we saw from Dallas Turner was fantastic against Ole Miss. That's the type of play that we need to see from Dallas Turner going forward. He had 3 total tackles for a loss. He had 2 quarterback sacks, and he got pressures on the quarterback 2 times. Total of 5 tackles, and he also had a forced fumble. He's playing at an elite level. He's playing as a top 5 pick for next season's NFL draft. There's been people that said he's not too far off from William Anderson. The way that he played on Saturday against Ole Miss, that's the type of play that we need to see from him. When you look at the interior linebackers, and we haven't talked enough about Robert Bala, Alabama's inside linebacker coach, it's important to note that Deontay Lawson, who's the team's signal caller, will be out this week against Mississippi State with a high ankle sprain. So in place of him, you have Jahad Campbell and you have Tresman Marshall. Which one will call the defense? Probably Campbell, I'm assuming. Bala has done a good job building up that depth, and we also saw Kendrick Blackshire get onto the field against Ole Miss. And look, each time that I've seen Kendrick Blackshire, I've seen a lot of intensity, and I've seen him flying to the football. He had 3 tackles against Ole Miss, so you do have some depth there. And I think what it's going to do is add some more depth at the inside linebacker with Deontay Lawson being out for this weekend and maybe the game against Texas A&M. I say maybe because Jeff Allen and the Alabama Athletics Sports and Science Center, if there's anybody that can get you back onto the field, it's this group here at the University of Alabama. They do such a phenomenal job with the players behind the scenes, keeping them healthy. So a high ankle sprain is difficult to deal with, and it can be nagging. But if you treat it right, you can get back onto the field. So worst case, he misses 2 games. But as you can see, Alabama does have depth, quality depth at that inside linebacker position. When you look to Alabama's defensive line, saw some new names coming up. Damon Payne. I thought Tim Keenan once again continues to improve his stock. When you do the rewatch, you can see Tim Keenan was a big man, probably 320 pounds. He's getting after Jackson Dart. He's chasing him down, which was great to see. You also have Justin Ebogbe, who's one of the veterans on the team, close to 50 games played. He had 3 tackles in that game, and he's playing at a good level as well. You want to see a high level from Jaheim Otis going forward. We're going to have an opportunity to speak from him on Tuesday, one of the leaders of that defensive group. And I think going forward, the intensity level has to continue to be there. Whoever's calling the defense. Lane Kiffin said that somebody else was calling it besides Still, or it was T-Rob, or maybe it was even Nick Saban. Doesn't matter. Those guys work collectively. You look at the games that Alabama has lost. The last 3 losses come against LSU, Tennessee, Texas. What do those teams have in common? Well, they have an ability to throw the football. And the games that LSU and Tennessee, if we rewind to last season, they were able to beat Alabama over the top. So was Texas at times. When they scored those touchdowns, they attacked Caleb Downs. Alabama's secondary has to be ready, and I think it's an improved secondary as opposed to last season. I really do. LSU has a very capable passing game, enough to challenge Alabama. I think we all know that every game seems to be challenging going forward, and that's fine. This defense is ready for it. This defense is capable of doing that, and I think that the secondary is going to continue to play at a high level, but you got to play tight in that secondary, and a lot of that will come from the pass rush as well. Get to the quarterback, allow that secondary to make plays. When we look at the defensive statistics through 4 games, you see that Caleb Downs is leading this team in total tackles. He has 27 with 1 pass breakup. That's pretty good for a freshman, right? Deontay Lawson, 26 tackles, and he has 2 sacks as well with 2 quarterback pressures. Terran Arnold, 25 tackles with 1 interception and 5 pass breakups, which leads the team. Tresvant Marshall has 21 tackles. Malachi Moore also has 21 tackles. Dallas Turner has 17 tackles, 4.5 sacks, and he has 7 quarterback hurries. He also has 2 forced fumbles. So he's playing it at an elite level. Dallas Turner, the better he plays, the more games that Alabama is going to win. And what we saw from this defense in that second half, it wasn't quite murder ball, but it was pretty close to murder ball, because when they were causing plays and getting to the quarterback and making Ole Miss frustrated, that's the defense that we're accustomed to. That is the standard that we are accustomed to here at the University of Alabama. And defense, you know what they say, defense wins championships 100%. I have a question for you. When you look to this Alabama defense so far, outside of Dallas Turner, who has been impressive to you? Give me your take in the secondary, at the linebackers, and the defensive line. I think outside of Dallas Turner, guys that have really been impressive to me thus far, I'll go with Jalen Key and Terran Arnold. I think those 2 guys have really proved that they can add a lot to this Alabama secondary. They're playing at a very high level, especially Terran Arnold. I mean, this was a guy who, when he came in, a lot of people that felt that Trey Amos might take his spot at the corner position. He has solidified himself as a starter next to Kool-Aid McKinstry. I think when you look to the linebackers, Jahad Campbell has been that guy that we've been, seeing really blossom into a great inside linebacker. Banged up at the beginning of the season, but now that he's at full health at a perfect time where Deontay Lawson needs a blow for a couple weeks to get back healthy. So those are my 2 guys from the secondary and from the inside linebacker. And then at the defensive line, I'm going to go with Tim Keenan. I think that Tim Keenan has just excelled, and he only gets better. He was a guy who came in, and if you watch any of my shows, he came in overweight. He had to work to get to where he's at today. But the way he was moving against Ole Miss, just go watch it. He was chasing down Jackson Dart. It was really an impressive performance. Hats off to him for continuing to work on the grind. But I want to hear from you. Who has impressed you from the defensive side of the ball, secondary, inside linebacker, and defensive line? My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you very much for being here watching our YouTube channel. If you want to become a fan funder, just go to our YouTube homepage and hit the join button next to the subscribe button. Works better on desktop. I appreciate all of your support, and we'll continue to gear you guys up for Mississippi State. There's a really good press conference that you can watch on our YouTube channel from Zach Arnett. I like it. He's like the no-nonsense approach, very defensive-minded coach. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, my name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube.